We are all natural-born storytellers, whether you think of yourself that way or not. The stories that mold and shape our lives oftentimes become foundational parts of our growth, healing, and even generational experiences. Welcome to Awaken Your Soul Sunday, a storytelling series that shares the moments of awakening, trials and tribulations, truth, and vulnerability in the words and voice of the featured storyteller. And now, a life-changing story from this week's guest.
Hey there, I'm Jenn Trepeck. I'm a health coach with a specialty in weight management, and I am the host and creator of the podcast, Salad with a Side of Fries. This is the story of the woman who lost a person. So I was a dancer growing up, and I joke that I was the skinny one in a family of dieters. And I think being a dancer, I was more aware of my body than the average person. But I ate when I was hungry. I didn't eat when I wasn't. And I realize now looking back, because my family was often on a diet, that I really was on a diet my whole life and didn't realize it. But then after high school, going to college, I started to gain weight. I stopped dancing, my food changed, all of those things came into play. And I said, as well as genetics, by the way. And I said, okay, I know what to do. I watched my family do this my whole life. So I tried every diet under the sun, gained and lost over and over. And I sort of just thought that's what life would be, that's what this looked like, because that's what I saw. Now, fast forward, graduate from college, move to New York City, start a job, and I was bored. So I was looking for things to do in my spare time, initially with the intent of just taking that money and investing it so that I didn't have to work for someone else for the rest of my life. And in that process, I actually was introduced to the weight management program that I now teach. But at the time, I was like, no, that's okay. I've got my thing, right? My thing was this crazy merry-go-round roller coaster of gaining and losing weight, but I didn't need whatever they thought they had, right? But I saw people over time who were following this program. And one of the major things I noticed was that they were keeping the weight off. And then I heard this woman share her story. And she was telling her story of losing 150 pounds and keeping it off. And I have to tell you, everything she said after that, I didn't hear. There were no words. It was like the teacher and Charlie Brown in the background, because I was staring at her, having my own conversation in my head, because what I was seeing in front of me and what she was telling of her story did not compute in my brain. I was looking at her and I couldn't see where 10 pounds could have been on her body. And she's telling me that the equivalent of another person was attached to her. And I had a moment with myself and right there, and I said, Jennifer, right? This wasn't Jen. This was like a full name moment. And I said, Jennifer, get over yourself. They clearly know something that you don't know. So I worked with a coach. I followed the program, and it completely changed my life. It is the only thing that's allowed me to say I've kicked my food issues. And I think it's really because I call it the nutrition education we're all supposed to know and no one ever taught us. And after learning this information, I became an insatiable student. I read every book I could get my hands on and digging into why isn't this what we learned? And what is motivating what we're taught about nutrition and that food pyramid that I grew up with and many of us grew up with. And from that moment on, I set out on a mission to pay it forward and help people help themselves with this information. So I became a coach. I started working with clients on the side of my full-time job in 2007. I built my business on the side for almost 12 years. In July of 2019, I left my full-time job, launched my podcast that August, Salad with a Side of Fries. And I suppose you could say the rest is history. But truly, I owe it all to the woman who lost a person. Hearing her story changed the trajectory of my life. No longer was I looking for that career. I was on a mission and building my own business to help people help themselves. If she is out there, if it is you, I wish I knew her name. If you are out there listening, thank you, thank you, thank you. You've changed my life, and I know countless others, not just those who I've helped as my own clients, but anyone who also heard your story directly. So if this is you or you have a similar story, share it, because you never know who is listening. Thank you so much. That is the story of the woman who lost a person.
For more information on this week's guest, visit the episode notes section on mindbizlife.com. And if you'd like to share your story with us, click on the Awaken Your Soul tab on mindbizlife.com and fill out the submission form. Don't forget to share this episode with a friend, and be sure to give the podcast a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts or wherever it is that you tune in and turn it up. Join me on Wednesday for more life mastery conversations, but until then, remember, every level of life is an opportunity to grow. Be well, my friend.